Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour, Joe and Jason on this Tuesday. I hope you're having a fantastic morning. Once again, the markets are continuing to struggle here. The 10-year note really falling big here as they are worried about the state of the U.S. economy. We had another profit-taking day in gold. It's kind of, it's kind of funny, but we get these $50 down days like once a week. And then gold comes roaring back, right? And then hits a new all-time high. Like yesterday, we had a new all-time high, and we had a new all-time closing high. Today, profit-taking. Jump on. I'm going to tell you right now, the best sale, and it's hard. God, we've had so many great ones. But maybe the best sale on old gold this year. You are going to not want to miss it. I'm prepping you. Get your dial and fingers ready. You're going to be able to buy gold below melt and premiums. They actually rose again today, so it's even a better deal than normal. So get ready. What are you going to do when you call? 800-951-0592, the website at allamericangold.com. And Jason, consumer confidence came out today. It wasn't good. The consumer saying that, you know what, maybe not going to go as good as we expected. It was down 7 points. The biggest thing, it was the lowest reading going back to COVID. So when you think about all the way back to 2021, the expectations. So not only was the current, hey, how I feel today, not great. The expectations fell almost by 10 points, and they say that the measure has fallen below the level that is consistent with a recession. So when we think about this level here, it's at 72.9, and they're saying, hey, that's even worse than what would be a recession-type expectation coming out of the consumer. Remember, we've been warning you. Everything was priced for perfection. And unfortunately, we just live in an imperfect world. You know, we do. And remember, go back to before the election. Uh-oh, looks like we have people cheating. They're going to call now and jump on this special list. I'm going to say this, too. It is limited, very limited. So be ready. But before the election, remember I said, and people got mad. They got really mad. Hey, it doesn't matter if it's Trump or Harris. And I had to give context. I said, yeah, will it matter with the border? Sure. Will it matter with Russia in Ukraine? Yeah, right? Can it matter about, I don't know, tariffs and all that? Yep, that's all going to matter. But what I was telling everybody, it doesn't matter because of the situation that was being inherited. We have debt levels that are outrageous. Listen, think about this. Right now, we have no budget. We're on emergency measures, right? So we don't even know what the debt is, right? We know it's somewhere around $37 trillion, but we don't know. We know that they want to spend money. Yesterday, President Trump said, hey, guess what, Mexico, Canada, it's on. Come Monday, get ready. The tariffs are coming. Here's the thing. He didn't even say how much. Last time we heard from him, he said 25%. Is that really going to happen? Maybe. He says so. Why would I doubt him? Doge, it's great. But here's the thing, and this is why it's so simple. right? The goal is to try to grow their way out, right? That's the goal. Well, the best and really the only way really to grow your way out is inflation. I mean, that's it, right? Print money. Donald Trump wants to print money. He does. But he's smart because he says, well, okay, what I need to print, right? Man, I got to cut a lot. And that's what's driving everything right now. The big layoffs in government, they're just starting. There's been, a lot of talk. And it's not like nobody's been fired. People have been fired, but not the big waves. They've gone to court. Judges have held stuff up. It's just now starting. It'll be interesting to see what Thursday's jobs number looks like. That'll be very, very interesting to see if we finally see it showing up. But when we look at what's going on Wall Street Thursday, Friday, yesterday, the Dow finished up 20 points, but the S&P, the NASDAQ, they were much lower. They're lower again today. And I think the biggest thing, though, listen to this on the 10-year note, 4.30. It's down. It was 4.4 and change yesterday. Huge moves in the – what's it saying? Well, guess what? All of a sudden, everybody's talking about rate cuts again, Jason. Here we go, right? Here we go. The Fed's already gone on record. We're going to stop quantitative tightening right now. The Fed's like, okay, listen, the second we see a bad jobs market, we're going to come in with rate cuts again. Yeah, I think, you know what? I think they're going to do it. How high is gold going to go? We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. If you've never ordered from us before, let me help you. You just call up and say, I want the special. That's it. That's it. That's easy. What if you don't know what the special is? That's okay. Just call up and say, what's the best deal you got? It's just that easy. That's the funny thing is most companies, they want to sell the thing that they may make the most money on. Here at Patriot, we just do it different. We just do it different. We want to sell the stuff we make the least on. We want you to have the best deal. It's why we don't make outbound phone calls. We have no commission salespeople. Right? We don't have any of that stuff. I keep warning you about getting more diversified. Taking those big IRAs that you've done a great job with, taking part of those and getting into a gold and silver IRA. And I keep telling you, do it while the premiums, listen, the premiums have come up literally. It's been 2 straight weeks of rising premiums. Don't let this get past you. Take advantage of the low premiums. Why? Boy, it looks like gold's going a lot higher. A lot higher. Maybe even higher than I want to admit. I hate to say that. It's getting ugly right now. Wall Street. The Dow is kind of flat. But the S&P is down 55. Back below, it's getting ready to break 5,900. Remember, it's way over 6,000. The NASDAQ down 350. I told you about the 10-year note. I mean, if we talk about, gosh, it's not supposed to make these kinds of moves. But there's just so little liquidity left in these markets. Look at crude oil today, almost down $2. Will somebody tell the gas pumps in Arizona, please? Please, somebody tell them. Ridiculous. We get our gas from California, so we're kind of screwed here. Gold's down 55. And really all of it was in the last, hour. Just profit taking. Get in. Get in here. at $29.02 right now. Silver's down 81 cents. Get in. 31.52. Other news now. Donald Trump looking at imposing more tech restrictions on the Chinese. And people are now, Jason, it looks like this trade war is going to heat up, as well as yesterday right before the markets were closing, Trump said, hey, tariffs are coming. Mexico, Canada, yeah, we're on track here. Get ready for tariffs next week. But it didn't give detail, which kind of has me worried, because he's done this before, and then it ends up being exactly what he said it was going to be. The last time he talked about a Mexican-Canadian tariff, it was 25%, Jason. I don't know, but it sounds like he's like, hey, nothing's changed. And remember what I've said all along. Listen, we need that money so Donald Trump can spend the money he wants to spend. And this is kind of an interesting way of getting it, isn't it? Hey, we're going to have to pay more for stuff, but look at all the money we're going to be able to spend because you're paying more, which is, in a weird way, means you're going to be paying even more. So, again, the grow your way out of it strategy, Jason.
Yeah, I was watching a guy describe the tariffs and the whole idea of, what if if you don't do it, what's going to happen? If you do it, and it's it showed that basically it's a tax. It's basically a tax that's going to raise prices. But he was good. It's kind of a good explanation, Joe, because he said, well, the idea is, letting things go the way they are, or trying to figure out whether you should print money and lower the rates or raise the rates and continue quantitative tightening. He's like, it's just not working, right? So the tariffs give this what he called it, a Hail Mary pass. Well, if we do the tariffs and then this happens and then this happens and then this happens and this happens, then it might just work out, right? So this is why the tariffs seems to be the one option, because there's a Hail Mary chance that if all the dominoes fall at the right exact time, that the tariffs would be the one true answer. But it was a good explanation, Joe. But it's hinging on a whole lot of what ifs, and it just means that. How about this? The tariffs does what we believe the bankers want, which is to inflate their way out of the current mess that they're in, right, Joe? That really is the only way long term to get out of it, is to inflate their way out, which means pain and suffering for those at the bottom that don't own a whole bunch of assets, Joe. Let's face it, we talked yesterday about all those billionaires that are stocking up cash to buy cheap assets. A lot of people are going to be having trouble just buying the essentials, Joe.
Yeah, Warren Buffett, right? Gosh, $334 billion. I mean, it's an outrageous amount. It's a record for them. By the way, talking about assets, home prices. Case-Shiller. A lot of people think this is better than the government's number. They're about the same, Left pocket, right pocket. Guess what? The 20-city composite, where, most of the U.S. population lives, up again, the biggest jump since June. What? Right? No one's buying homes, but yet they won't stop going up 0.5% month over month. Only one city of the 20 largest cities in the United States saw a decline in price. One. Tampa. Right? Well, of course, Florida, right? Why? Well, I guess a lot of those condo towers may be having a tough time of things, but Jason, this kind of defying the expectations of what is supposed to happen or what they want to have happen. But this is what we talk about. This is why we keep telling you. This is the world that we're living in right now, and I'll just say that boy, it has to be perfect. Like, I love Jason's analogy. Well, the tariffs could work if this happens, and then that has to happen, and then this and that, and 33, if these 27 things all happen, then it can be okay. It's not going to work that way. We know that. We have the deal of deals right now. They are very limited. When they're gone, they're gone. We answer in the order that you call. We'll start on the gold side. I've got $20 liberties. By the way, I looked at them all. I have them all. They're here in my. Well, I guess I got to do it for the, and they're beautiful looking at, as always. But the vast majority of these are pre-1900s, almost all of them. And the ones that aren't, I think there's one or two 04s, but that's it. I mean, they're great bunch of dates, a lot of 1880s in these. Yesterday, a $20 gold piece was $3,045. Listen, gold's down $50. All right, so what? $29.95? No. How about $28.95? Nah, that's not good enough. $2,795. You heard me right. You got gold sitting here just above, $2,900. This is below spot, obviously, below melt. All of the key words here. Absolute stealing of it. $27.95, and I've got 20 of them. Essentially, what I'm telling everybody is it's $250 lower than yesterday on a $50 drop. And oh, by the way, my wholesalers will pay me more than $27.95, but I want you to have the opportunity. This is a one-day deal. You will not be able to do this tomorrow. Why? Because I'm going to sell them back because I can get more. But listen, it's a great opportunity. All of those things, it's all true. I've got $10 Liberty gold pieces. All of them, I think, are put it this way, there's no 1904s, no 1907s in these. Those are the common date numbers here. $1,400. So for $5 extra, right? 2 10s would be $2,800. For the $5 extra, buy the 10s. I've only got 10 of them at $1,400. And then last but not least, I've got $25 liberties. So the 20, the 1 ounce, the half ounce, the quarter ounce. The quarter ounce, $5 liberties, $710. $710. This is an $800 coin. And I'm sitting there and you go, well, what is that? 710 is, I went to public school, so I got to use a calculator. That's $28.40. That's $60 below spot, right? I'm telling you right now, if it was me, Joe, what should I buy first? A lot of people say, well, buy the 20s. They're the cheapest. $27.95. I can't argue with that. If it's me, I'd buy the 5s first. Well, actually, you know what? I'd probably buy the 10s first, the 5s second, and the 20s third. But, Jason, you can't go wrong with any of these. So, again, one more time. 2020s. I don't have 21, 22 at $27.95. $29.95. Think about that. Gold hit $29.60 yesterday. And you're going to buy a 20 today at $27.95. You got 20 of those. You got 2 more chances because the lines are ringing already. I've got 10 $10 Liberties. They're $1,400 a piece. Right? That's like $2,800. I've only got 10 of those. And then I've got 20 of the 5s. It's maybe the best deal of them all. It's hard to say they're all so good. 20 of those. They're $710. 800-951-0592. That is the toll-free number. And, Jason, it's another great opportunity when we're looking at where we're headed right now. Joann's just announced, the retailer, they were going in bankruptcy again. They were going to close 500 stores. They said, screw it, we're closing them all 800 going away, and then farm bankruptcies. You think farming would, it's been tough out there. Up 55% in 2024. Yeah, here comes inflation, folks. 800-951-0592. Got a couple lines open. 800-951-0592. Losses picking up here. Wow, that was fast. Dow's down 160. It was just flat a minute ago. The S&P down 74. And the NASDAQ down over 400. You got gold down 60. You got silver down $1. Hit this Bitcoin. Holy smokes. 87,000. Right now, it is definitely something where somebody knows a whole lot more than we do, right? As far as where the consumer is, where the economy is. Can we actually cut this spending? And right now, no big budget, right? We're coming up. We got about 30 days. We got to get some kind of a budget. Remember, they want this one big bill. That's starting to look awfully doubtful. And then Speaker Johnson remember, they were talking about a Doge cut rebate check. Speaker Johnson's like, yeah, no, I don't think we're going to be able to get that done. But they may have to. I mean, I really, really do. Again, going over these specials, these are incredible opportunities. Got a very limited amount. $20 gold, $27.95. You heard me right, $27.95. That is $250 lower than yesterday. The problem is, I don't have very many. I got like 15. That's it now. I had 20, now I got 15. 10s. I still got the 10s. I got 10 of those. $1,400. The 5s, they're $710. I got it, guys. What about silver? Okay, U.S. Silver Eagles. Yesterday, they were $785. Silver's down $1. So that'd be like, what, $765? No, $755 on rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles. Okay, so $30 off, right? That'd be like silver being down $1.50. And then how about this one? Because I know how you guys have really liked those Morgan and Peace dollars we're running. I've got 5 more rolls. Now, these aren't AUs or anything like that. These are VG Plus pre-1921 Morgan dollars. They cost me $600. That's my cost. And then I would say, okay, for you guys, you know what? It's $650. Right? Something like that. I've got 5 rules of them, all pre-1921s. Got them live. $560. So $40 below my cost. So there you got gold, you got silver, whatever you'd like. 800-951-0592. And Jason, it's been a crazy year. A lot of people, they were excited. Hey, Trump's in. He's doing big things. He's making a lot of headlines. But it just reverts back to sometimes you inherit what you inherit, and what we inherited was a mess that really, you know what, let's face it, between the federal government and the Federal Reserve, this is the box they put everybody in.
Well, it's kind of been a mess for a long time, hasn't it? It's not like this administration is the first one to get the mess. The mess is on purpose, isn't it? Isn't the mess on purpose? You can't benefit from this economic system if you're a banker, or if you're way up the ladder, as one of these big billionaires or corporatists. If it isn't messed up, right, Joe? You think about how many millionaires were running around the country in the 1800s when everything was fair, right? When competition was equal because there was no benefits to the bankers, right? Gold was the money in the 1800s, right, Joe? It was no inflation. Every time the banker tried to put a bank in place, somebody would get, the America would get rid of it. And there was rich people, there was poor people, but it's the system is so rigged at this point. What administration is going to come in and is not a mess, right, Joe? So I guess what we're looking at is how bad is it going to get for the average guy? How bad is it going to get, Joe? This is why we try to get the average guy to buy this stuff, because this gives you protection against the games that the system plays on you.
Let me give you an idea of where the money's going. This is out of the World Gold Council. Don't be fooled by the title. The World Gold Council hates gold, right? They're and what I mean by that, they're there for the bankers, right? That's who they're there to protect. I don't want to say they hate gold, but they're there to protect the bankers. Yesterday, they announced that last week alone, 48 tons of gold. Now remember, 1 ton is 32,150 ounces. 48 tons, valued at $4.6 billion, flowed into North American listed gold-backed ETFs. One of the biggest surges that they've seen. And this has been one of those laggards, right? The ETFs, heck, they were still selling into gold last year, right? The ETFs were a drawdown on gold supplies. But Jason, when you talk about 84 million ounces going to the ETFs, put it this way: in 1 week, they reversed all of the selling from last year. Reversed it all. They now are at the highest levels since January of last year, and everybody expects more of the same coming out of these gold markets probably through all of 2025 here. And it's one of those things where this is big. We talk about, where's all this big money coming? There it is. 48 tons in a week. Now, imagine, could we see 200 tons of inflows into the ETFs? And the answer is yes. Listen, the ETFs, they had been selling for the last several years, and it's crazy how in 1 week they just, here, we're going to take away a whole year's worth of selling in a single week.
I saw something, Joe. I don't know if you saw this as well. One entity took possession of how many? I don't know if this is what you were talking about. It took possession of essentially 11% of what America says to be holding in one grab of gold. That just happened over the last couple of days.
J.P. Morgan was delivering ungodly amounts of gold, and unfortunately,
one customer,
right? They don't have to tell you who it is either.
One customer.
We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. You guys are hilarious. No one listens to me, I swear. So, we've already sold over half of the 20s now. And, of course, I said, if it was me, I'm buying the 5s, then I'm going to buy the 10s, and then I'm going to buy the 20s. I still have the 1010s at $1,400, really? That extra $5? 2 10s would have been $2,800. Yeah, nope, that's not going to. How about the 5s? That's $710. You're paying $10 a coin. They what? Get it in a fourth of the size? Think about what we're talking about: 4,000 gold, 5,000 gold. These half ounce and quarter ounce, that's what you want to be selling. Hey, I need $2,000. Gus, I don't want to sell a 20. I don't know. But it's fun. Hey, by the way, we've got 2 rolls left of these VG Plus Morgan dollars, pre-21 Morgans at $560. Then, of course, rolls of Silver Eagles are on sale as well at $755. But this is, again, when you look at the gold that I'm selling you today, I can sell it to my wholesaler and make more money. I just don't want to. Well, I got to pack it. I'd rather have you guys have the deal. Right? That's what separates us from all of these other gold companies out there. 800-951-0592. The last of the 20s at $27.95. I got 1010s at $1,400. 25s at $710. But yeah, Jason, we were talking about gold deliveries and how big they have become, and now all of a sudden the North American ETFs in a single week took out a whole year's worth of selling. Then we're not in China, believe it or not. The China's like, hey, our gold markets are getting better. But remember, they've got a problem with lack of supply over there in China. So, Jason, again, really all eyes on Wall Street right now. I'm just worried. Right now, it's not bad. It's not bad. You know, Dow's down 100. Yeah, okay, the Nasdaq's down 300-400. You know, the S&P looks like it's going to be down for the 4th day in a row. But this huge move in the bond market today, it may not happen. I hope it doesn't happen. But when it does stuff like that, you usually get a really big. Now, granted, we had some bigger selling days Thursday, Friday, yesterday outside of the. I think that was up like 23 points yesterday. But this could get ugly here pretty quick. Maybe this economic data that's going to be coming the rest of this week and into next week. We could definitely see some more volatility to the downside, because right now the bond market is saying, we don't like what we're seeing. And guess what? Donald Trump, he may not have to convince Jay Powell to cut rates anymore. They may be forced into this corner. And I've been saying that all. I think that's really unfortunate. They're going to stop quantitative tightening. I told you they'd stop quantitative tightening. They pretty much already said we're going to stop it by the summer. Why do I have a feeling that the Fed is going to err on the side of growth? They are not going to let job losses pile up without cutting. I don't see them waiting for the. Remember, there's we got to wait on the data. I don't think they're going to wait on the data. If they see jobless claims spiking, if they see another bad retail sales report like we got in January, Jason, they know they don't have a choice. Right? If they don't grow, they're dead. I now don't be surprised, especially with these tariffs, rate cuts, more than likely now. wow, how fast things change. Back on the table in just in a matter of like a week. A week ago, they were off the table. Now all of a sudden, they're back on the table.
Well, and if the rates are decoupling from the Fed's decision, it doesn't really matter whether the Fed goes up or down. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter as much as it used to. I've been hearing murmurs. I've been watching murmurs of a gold-caused market crash. I saw the country's...
The derivatives gold market's under a lot of pressure.
I saw that America took almost all of gold possession for January, and it looks like February is going to be the same. And so I was watching these numbers, and this gentleman was talking. He said, look, gold possession taken from the traditional markets, only 0.2 tons were taken possession by China in January. Yeah. That doesn't match all the gold buying that we hear China's doing. What he said is, look, if America needs to take this huge possession for whatever the reason, China is not reporting what they actually have, because the amount of buying that's going on in China for gold doesn't match only getting 0.2 of a ton. With the buying that's going on in China, they said if China did not have more gold than they're reporting they have, they would not. What his theory is, they're putting their actual physical gold into their own market, because if China went dry, the 6-hour waiting lines that we talked about, Joe, last week, 6 hours, Chinese people are waiting in line to buy gold. If China didn't put the gold into their own market, there would have been a massive shortage. It would have caused, I mean, think about it, Joe. Running out of gold is probably a pretty scary thing right now for any country in the world with what's going on.
I'm going to make it simple for everybody. Do you know how much gold there is for every person in the world? Not even an ounce. Which is not all the gold ever mined. All the gold ever mined. You couldn't even give every person in the world an ounce of gold. Think about that. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. All right, we're back here. Patriot Radio News Hour. Here's, I always say it. You know what? I hate everybody. You guys are just, they're messing with me. They're messing with me. We've got 5 $20 gold pieces at $27.95. I couldn't hear you, Jason, but even if, even though I told you buy the 5s, buy the 10s, here's the funny part. I still have the 10/10s. How? How's this possible? Really? At $1,400, really? That's what you're telling me out there. That's how good of a job I've done educating you guys. Come on. The 5s at $7.10. And, of course, I've got now just 2 rolls of these pre-21 VG Morgan rolls at $5.60. All of these are so far below cost, it's forget about it, right? This is less than what wholesalers will pay me for it at 800-951-0592. Donald Trump. Okay, here we go. The tariffs will go forward on time and on schedule. There will be no more delays. 25% on Mexico and Canada, as well as 10% duties on Canadian energy. So that's what we're being right now. This is what's going to happen. Let me say it again. 25% Mexico and Canada, 10% on the Canadian energy. So I'm assuming oil, right? And also another tariff that are going to be slapped on the Chinese, Jason, and this has to do with tech. And it looks like now the Chinese and the U.S. have had talks. They did not go well. That is what I'm being told. The talks did not go well. Worries now that it kind of was like, okay, that first 10% we're okay with, China was kind of like, okay, fine, whatever. Apparently, Jason, this latest round, not so much. So it's going to be listen, next week's going to be really interesting because all of these are supposed to kick in next week. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens.
The idea that trying to split Russia and China, right, Joe? Trying to get that Ukraine war ended and try to split the two, and probably could be a part of this, right? There's economic alliances that have been made, and so here we are. Here we are with an economically unstable world, and one thing Trump is absolutely doing, he's waging economic war. I mean, that's he said it in an interview that at least with an economic war, people aren't dying, right? I mean, you could say that economic war can turn into people dying, but that's essentially the idea. Is hey, my job is America, and I'm supposed to economically try to fix this mess, and it's not that easy, Joe. It's not that easy. I'm not even sure anyone has any confidence that anything's actually going to be fixed. I think it's just a lot of people running around panicking.
800-951-0592. What a great day for sales. Buy the dips from the dips.